How are you guys?
Good, how are you?
Doing good. It's Tom from You Know I Got Soul here. Good to meet you guys.
You as well.
Yo,
Thanks for having
what's
us.
up, Tom?
What's up? What's up? We've been supporting you guys for a while now. Obviously, our friends Claude and Chuck have been telling us about you guys for many years. So happy to speak with you guys for an interview for the first time.
Yeah,
likewise.
absolutely.
Dope. So let's take it to the beginning. Let's start at the very beginning. Tell us about how you guys originally met and formed the group.
Sure. The Shindellas came together 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
We all are from different parts of the country. I'm from Chicago. I lived in Atlanta and LA. Case is from Seattle. And tell them
Yeah,
about
and then I met Chuck years ago in LA at a networking event when I was writing, and he was
Nice.
like keynote speaker there. He was listening to our music and giving us feedback. You know, there was like the Chuck Harmony, and we connected at that event and have just stayed in touch for years. So I was doing my own independent thing, touring, and that's when he reached out to me about the Shindellas.
Tammy's from Texas.
Yes, I actually moved to Nashville from Dallas. Claude Kelly is who reached out to me via Instagram. He crossed one of my viral videos and said, hey, me and my business partner, Chuck Harmony, are working on something really, really special. We'd love for you to be a part. So yeah, they flew me out. I met the team, fell in love with the whole concept and the whole idea of three women coming together. And yeah, it brought me here.
Wow.
4 years ago.
I met Chuck Harmony in LA. I started singing background vocals for him and demos, and I joined his band, and then he came up with this idea, and it was really the meaning behind the songs, the intention behind their intention, and the intention behind the songs that really made us gravitate to them and to the concept. And we joined in, and it was like lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
We just been together and killing it ever since.
Yeah.
We just met
Well-
and this was like a bow.
Well, talk a bit about the bond you've been able to form, because, you know, a lot of times when we hear about groups, they form organically. Maybe they all grew up together or something like that. You guys are from literally all different parts of the country. So how have you been able to bond together since being brought together?
So we initially, when we came together, we have a rehearsal space at the workshop called
The Hot Wiggle.
The Hot Wiggle. And we transformed, well, Stacy actually transformed the entire space. It's basically a garage at the workshop. She transformed it and made it into like our practice facility. And so we spent a lot of time
in a dance floor and stage lights and red curtains.
Absolutely. Like the first few months we spent there, we were all extremely emotional because we had just made such a huge decision to come together. And so we got really honest with each other about like our intentions and what we wanted for the band. And then we just, we talked about everything.
Yeah.
We cried, we prayed, we did yoga, we meditated. We did everything we could to just
All in the wiggle.
we were all in. So
Awesome.
Guys, there's this thing about when three women choose to join a group, the intention of just all going in and being like purposeful is there instead of being like kind of wishy-washy. No, we all knew we wanted to do this.
We knew
Amazing. Super dope. You know, I think the really special thing about the Shindellas is your sound is unlike anything we're hearing right now. And the music has musicality to it. It has meaning to it. You know, the vocals are there. It has a throwback sound, but it's not dated sounding. It still sounds current. How do you guys describe your sound?
Tammy always says it's everything you've ever heard and everything you've never heard.
Yeah.
Familiar futurism.
Familiar futurism. That's so good, Stacey.
Or as we now call it, New American Soul.
Yes.
That's our genre.
That is our genre.
That's what we're calling
And it's literally, we're all three just a melting pot of all of our influences. Like Stace has a Jamaican background, so it's like soca music, and Case is like, reggae. In Case you have like theater, and
gospel,
Christian music. So it's literally all of that.
We all have really musical music backgrounds.
Yeah.
And it's like put it all in there, put it all out there.
And then you add in Chuck Harmony and Claude Kelly, and it's like, so
it's like a treasure chest.
Dope. I mean, Louis York, obviously, they're also making a sound like unlike any other. You guys feel like an extension of what they're doing, which is a beautiful thing. But talk about the challenge, because, you know, a lot of times artists try to emulate what's popular. You guys are going in a totally different direction. kind of just going your own path, which we love, but how challenging is it for you, and maybe even a little bit scary as artists when you're going in your own path, maybe which doesn't sound like what's popular?
Yeah,
That's such a good.
we're definitely, it's like you have to attune people to hearing this stuff again, to hearing big vocals, to hearing 3 different types of voices, and to just hearing music, live instrumentation, horns. People are just not used to it. They, unless
It's been a shift.
which is why people really will always be like, oh, it's so nostalgic. And I'm like, a lot of times people will hear horns, just horns, and be like, oh, it's retro. And I'm like, no, those are just horns. It's just music, baby. There's horns everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's sometimes scary because you're like, oh, well, if we would just do this, we would be on these playlists, or if we
Be on the charts.
but we're like, being true to ourselves is what brought us together. Being really intentional about everything we're saying is what has kept us together. And so it's more important to be authentic.
The originality is actually our goal.
Yeah.
All right. Love it. Love it. Love what you guys are doing so far. And it's interesting because I was listening to all your guys' previously released singles, and you mentioned you've been at this for about 4 years now as a group. And I can hear the evolution in your sound, even though you haven't given us a full length project yet, even like single to single, it started out more of like a kind of like a doo-wop sound almost, but it's definitely evolved. And I mean, talk about just the growth and development you guys are having as a group, because a lot of times we're used to hearing about overnight successes who just jumped on some trendy thing and blew up on TikTok or whatever. But you guys are putting in work, developing and growing.
Yeah.
So when we first came together, our first few songs were actually already demoed. And so we had the opportunity to tour the songs before actually recording them. And it was kind of like one of those things where everyone started learning each other's voice, and the guys started learning us as artists and as individuals. And so then the music kind of started evolving to where it fit the 3 of us individually and as a collective. So it was a really dope experience. It's been a dope experience, just like seeing how we're all like flourishing and growing as a unit and as individuals. And I think that speaks to what's happening with the music as well. Like just the evolution of who we are and who we're striving to be and who we're discovering.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Dope. On your guys' website, it mentions you guys are the truth tellers. What does it mean to be a truth teller?
Ooh.
Yes. All of our music, there's always a message below and underneath the beautiful sounds. And I think that there's always some truth in it. Especially like if you think about our last single, Fear Has No Place, we're always trying to speak to our current situations and what we feel like people really need to hear. So the truth tellers is just what we are, we're the gospel truth. It's always it's just real. It's just what you need to hear.
Right. I also saw this line in your bio. I wanted to read it out. The Shindellas are a band formed under the belief that when women come together, powerful change can happen. They're advocates aligned under the tenets of sisterhood, excellence, elegance, and empowerment. And the reason I really wanted to spotlight that is because we don't hear a lot of, artists going for those elements or trying to send a message or trying to make a difference. So I love that you guys are about that. Talk about having music with meaning and trying to make a difference.
When we first came together, like one of our first times, like sitting down and just talking about who we individually were in our stories, we found the common thread of wanting to own our voice and all of the ways we've been silenced or told we were too much or told to dim our lights. And we were like, how can we be what we needed to see as little girls? So that's really where that came from. It was, the guys had this idea of like, there are all of these different types of women that we know that we aren't necessarily seeing represented. I mean, we have beautiful, amazing Black women in entertainment doing beautiful, amazing things. But often it can feel a little monolithic and individually that's not true, but it can feel like that's how we're trying to be portrayed, all one way all the time. So we were just like, how can we show like Casey, weird book nerd, Stacy, like amazing like crafter, graphic designer, Tam, amazing arranger, like philosopher, like how can we show, and all of us singers, that we can be together, support each other, celebrate those individual gifts and eccentricities, and make good ass music.
Yeah. Above all.
Above all.
Yeah. I love that. Love it. Thank you so much for being that way. I hope you guys never change.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Talk a bit about the creative process among you guys. Like, what are each of your contributions when it comes to making music?
Ooh.
I mean, there's so many things. There's
So many things.
the guys are amazing, and I think you're really going to hear on this new album that as they've learned our voices, their sense of what is possible for us is like expanding. So it's getting crazy.
It's getting crazy over here.
It's getting crazy, and there's things like you'll hear. I really hear it a lot in the way we deliver things. Like you'll hear my theater background in all of us. You'll hear Tammy's gospel background in all of us. You'll hear Stacey's soca, reggae, Jamaican influence in all of us. Like we try to lean into each other's strengths. We try to lean into like deliver the story of the song in the way that's going to be most effective. So it's all very collaborative.
Right. Dope.
Hang around the piano. There's usually this, we call it the Shindo studio, and we're usually in the studio with the lights down, just listening to the music. Chuck is always playing something. Claude's always working stuff out with us. You know, we just live with the song. And listen to what works with our voices. We come up with harmonies on the spot. You know, it's fun.
And on this coming project, Hits That Stick,
Like grits.
you're going to hear, you know, we went into last year, we knew we were going to record an album, but then COVID hit. So when we went back, and then we had to quarantine separately for a month, which was crazy. Then we re-quarantined together. And when we went back into the studio, we were just like, listen, there's a lot we want to say. We want to dig into different topics, find ways to talk about money and capitalism and what's going on there in our culture. We wanted to find ways to talk about mental health and
new ways to talk about like self-love and relationships. Like, just pushing the envelope. And that's what you guys are great at doing as well. Is like pushing us to push the envelope and step outside of our comfort zone and really just go for what we want. So it's crazy.
Love it. And before we talk more about the album, shout out to Claude Kelly, who I see joined in and commenting in the chat. What's up, Claude, man? Happy to see you in here. Our guy right there. We absolutely, love what obviously Louis York did with their album. And it sounds like you guys are coming with something similar, something that's going to blow us away. I got to mention, though, the song you guys were featured on, No Regrets. Man, what a song that was from the Louis York album. Absolutely love that one.
I love that one live. That was so much fun to perform.
Yeah.
So much fun.
That was so fun to perform.
Oh, man.
God,
I mean, music like that is just fun to listen to. Like, I feel like a lot of the music I'm hearing is just depressing. It's a bit down, and it just makes you feel good when you hear music like that. And that's what I get from your guys' music, too.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
You know which song stood out to me when I listened to all you guys' song is Happy to See You. That one, the melody stuck with me a lot when I heard that one. I really felt that one.
Yes, that's the first song we sang together.
Wow.
So that's kind of it has a special place in our heart for sure.
So, and I was watching the live video you shot of it or recorded of it, and it has a lot of feeling when performed live. That's an awesome track right there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Thank you so much.
So, tell us more about this upcoming album, because obviously we've been waiting a while for an album, a project from the Shindellas. What more can you tell us about it?
It's definitely going to be original. You've never heard anything like it.
Yeah.
We're definitely all shining in different ways in the music.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you followed us for a while, you're going to hear Stace, you're going to hear Tam, you're going to hear Case. I think you start to hear a little bit of it on Money. You just hear like these different parts of our voices and the delivery and just the come up.
How many songs do we have? We have how many completed right now, or in the completion process?
We have enough for like 2 projects right now.
2 albums, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we're moving. We're moving. And
Yeah.
it's sounding incredible. Yeah.
So, and it's all the production and writing, you know, in house. Like Chuck and Claude are doing a lot of that with you guys.
Yes,
Oh, yes.
Lord.
Wow.
Yes, we are blessed to work with
We are
the
so
best.
blessed. So blessed.
So,
And they're having fun.
We're having
Yeah.
fun.
Oh, having fun. So that just adds a whole nother creative flow to it, you know, just new ideas all the time and trying crazy stuff all the time. It's fun.
dope. What is it like even being a part of the Weirdo Workshop? I mean, we've heard about this Weirdo Workshop for a long time from Chuck and Claude. We never really know what's going on, like how you know how it is, but what is it like being a part of that?
It's weird.
Super weird.
No, we have a wonderful community of people. Everybody who's a part of Weirdo Workshop is super talented. And it is just like so great to see everybody hone their gifts and focus in on how to be great at what they love to do. And you see everybody in their elements all the time. So it's just a lot of fun. We also have like a community outside of just the house, and it keeps growing of just people who can understand what it means to have something that you want to initially hide, or you're unsure about, or you're ashamed about, and then you see a group of people who are like, hey, that's actually what makes you unique and special and beautiful. Let's put that on, in the spotlight. And that's what it feels like for a lot of people. I'm sure it's what it feels like for me.
Nice.
That's so good. So good.
So, tell me this, because we've known Chuck and Claude for a long time before they were Louis York. You know, when they were producing and songwriting for some of the biggest artists, and then they decided to go their own lane. What is it about them being around them on a daily? What's it like being around them on a daily basis? Because they seem like two of the coolest, chillest dudes. I mean, we've only interviewed them and we've been around them a bit. What is it like?
They're crazy now. They're a lot of fun. They're intense.
Yeah, they're intense.
Yeah,
They are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You guys are intense.
You guys are intense. No, they are awesome. They are a lot of fun. They're
hardworking.
Always record playing or some music conversation, or just like they're always learning and
we
like,
talk about everything.
Yeah,
politics, to like religion, everything.
Yeah, we talk about everything. We debate.
And that's what makes the music so great, honestly.
Yeah.
Is that dialogue. So
they're crazy.
They're
crazy.
They're
so much
weird.
fun.
They're great.
They cook. You know what I'm saying?
That is one thing that they do.
They be in there shutting it up all the time.
Charlie on some quinoa or some rice, some greens with the vegan meatballs, or the meatballs. It's fire.
Casserole.
Or the sweet potato casserole.
Yeah.
Yes, Jones.
One thing about the guys is they're as creative, if not more creative, than what you would imagine. You know, I was a big fan of both of them before I became a Shindella. And you always wonder what's it going to be like the first time you go in the studio with Chuck Harmony, you know, or the first time Claude Kelly's like, I was thinking about you when I wrote this, or you were talking about this and I thought of this, because they're just like, they're legends to me. Like that's their trajectory, you know? And it's more than, it's everything you would want, but also more than you would think. They're really invested. Like their creativity really lives and flows through them in a way that's super inspiring as a creative, because you're just like, oh yeah, I can live in this. Like I can exist in this. And they share it. So it's, they're a blessing.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what, you know, they were kind of big in the scene up here in New York. I'm in New York City. And those guys, I used to run into them at events and stuff, and they were, you know, working with a lot of artists here. And then they picked up and moved to Nashville, and now you guys are down in Nashville. What's the scene like, the music scene like down there? Because we don't really, I've never experienced it. So what is it like?
It's growing.
It's growing. It's so much fun.
So diverse now.
We've gotten to do a lot of really cool things with music out here.
And just art.
Yeah.
And with other artists, other incredible artists here.
The commitment to excellence here is really high. People are putting in work to be the best at whatever it is they do, and that is really fun to be a part of.
And they appreciate the art in a way that like I personally haven't like experienced.
Mhm.
I mean, it's Music City, so you would expect that, but
Yeah.
it's genuine. When they say that, it's real.
Yeah.
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 Oh, I'll tell you, I visited Nashville once. A lot of country music, a lot of live country in the street. I remember that. So
Yeah.
maybe that'll take some influence on you guys too.
Diversifying so much. Like we got an opportunity to do a lot of really cool stuff. I mean, from the ballet and to even Bluebird Cafe, which is a famous venue here. That was actually where we did our first performance.
Yeah.
So even though it does have a huge country,
esque film.
Yeah.
it's still it has open arms, especially for the Shindellas.
And it has deep roots in gospel and soul. I mean, the Fisk Jubilee singers were like arguably the very first pop act, the first like stars in the country are from here, and that was they were a choir. And then you have like Americana, which is basically soul. I mean, it's
now there's a music museum, African American music museum out here, so they do music in a cool way.
That's really cool.
Country stars, they all want to be Aretha Franklin too.
Happy birthday, Reef.
Happy birthday, Reef.
We love you. We miss you,
So
girl.
coming back to the new album, tell us, when can we expect either another single from it, or do you have a release date planned for it? What can we expect?
Right now.
Right now.
We have another single
right
coming.
now.
Is it latter part of April?
The third week of April.
So soon.
It's really soon.
So soon.
It's coming and it's fire.
We
What
just
is the
Oh.
name of it? Should we just give the name of
The
it?
name is When You're Lonely.
When You're Lonely.
And
Wow.
actually right now on Weirdo Workshop's YouTube channel, there's a really fun behind the scenes of us recording the song. So you can actually see us like working with Claude and Chuck in the studio, being silly, making meatballs.
Maybe.
You can hear a little bit of the song.
Yeah.
So
That's coming.
Yeah.
shout out to our friend Dollar in the house. I know he's a big supporter of you guys as well.
We love you.
So the title, what does that mean? What's the meaning behind that? That title's deep.
When you're lonely,
Yeah.
we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Okay.
But just think about
Yeah.
That's fair.
Just think about all the things you do when you're lonely.
Uh-oh.
Just think about
Most of the things you
most
do
of
when
the
you're
things,
lonely.
not all of them. Most.
Yeah. This album's definitely gonna have feeling. I can tell that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We're talking about some grown woman things.
Can we hear? I see a comment. Can we hear a little bit of it? My friend Tasha is asking.
Should we what's the key?
You only call when you're lonely. We only talk when you get that feeling. You want it all. Same old story, but your words don't move me the same. No, it takes more to make my love come down like a rainstorm.
Yeah.
Nice. Very well. Very nice. Thank you. That was dope. Thank you guys.
Yes, absolutely.
I just want to ask.
The rest. I'm sorry. I need to go play it now.
Let me ask you guys one more thing. We're almost out of time, but just share for us when people hear your music for the first time, or when they get to hear your album, what do you want them to experience?
I would like people to feel seen.
I want them to get shindowed. Shindowed. I don't know if you know what that word. You know what that word is? That's like our word we use in the studio when we get like chills up the back of our neck and like
Wow.
goosebumps and
Inspired.
it's super
Yeah.
inspired, or you just like giggle or you're giddy. That's shindo.
Absolutely.
And that's what I want people to feel. That's what we want people to feel.
That's what we're named for.
That's what the Shindellas are named
The
after.
Shindellas,
Bringing the
the
shindos.
I love it. I love it.
Free.
Yeah.
Free in the music. You know?
Yeah.
I love how music makes me feel free. So I hope they feel that as well.
It's dope. I mean, I came up in an era when music was supposed to make you feel something. And I can tell you guys are on the right track to giving us that. I hope I feel chills, because I love feeling that when I listen to a song. So I'm really looking forward to hearing the album.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Absolutely. And then, before we get out of here, anything you guys would like to add?
So we typically always end all of our interviews with our mantra, which is,
You are allowed to be yourself without fear.
Amen.
Namaste.
Dope.
So we love.
And you can follow us on all social media at the Shindellas. Subscribe to our YouTube channel because there is some heat coming your way, baby.
And all of our music is available on all digital platforms: Tidal, Spotify, Apple Music,
Everywhere.
iTunes,
All
The
of
things we
everywhere.
don't know about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you visit theshindellas.com, you can join our email list and always be in the loop and get the scoop.
You
Shooby-doo.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for the interview. It was great meeting and speaking with you, and really looking forward to the new music.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us, and thank you so
Absolutely.
much for supporting us since the beginning.
Yes,
We
we
really
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
Always happy to support. Talk to you guys soon.
Yes, love, love, love.
All right. Take care.